I'd like to ask you, first of all, why you ever joined the military.
What happened was that I was in college and I needed every penny I could get anywhere to pay for it. And I also, believe it or not, was pretty patriotic as I am now. And I thought I really ought to do my personal stint in the military. And so by joining the Army ROTC at Michigan Tech, I received a check every month for that, which really helped. And then, of course, when you do that for 4 years, you have an obligation to go into the military. And that's how I ended up in the Army after college.
Was it difficult for you to choose which branch of the service you'd go into?
No, we only had Air Force and Army. In Air Force, I didn't have the eyes, so to speak. So I couldn't have made Air Force anyway. But when you graduate from ROTC, you're given a choice between a 6-month hitch with a long reserve time, really long, or a 2-year hitch with a much shorter reserve time. I chose 2 years. I figured somebody once told me, so you don't really know what the military is like or marriage until you've been there. And that's exactly right. So I decided, no, I really wanted to find out what it was like to be in the Army. And so I chose the 2 years. I said, well, what are my choices? And they said, well, you can go any place you want stateside. I said, well, I really like Fort Lee, and I love Virginia. Beautiful, beautiful state. And keep in mind, I'd never been south of Chicago.
Yeah.
Never in my life. And so I thought, well, this is a beautiful place to be. And why not? If you're in the Quartermaster Corps, I could be assigned to the Quartermaster School.
Yes.
And so I thought, wow, what could be better than that if you're going to have to be stateside and have to be in the Quartermaster School? So that's how I ended up being assigned the full 2 years in Fort Lee, Virginia, which is near Petersburg. In a lot of ways, it really turned out well. I was the lieutenant in charge of all new officers coming into the Quartermaster Corps, and I was in charge with counseling each of these new lieutenants.
What advice would you give someone today transitioning from the military? Any advice or observation?
Yeah, well, the first thing is my advice, and I gave many a lieutenant this, is enjoy your experience here. You know, get as much out of it as you can while you're in the military. And be open to a military career, too. And then when you're ready to make the transition, you obviously can look back and say, what did you learn here? What did you gain from this? How has that impacted your character or what's important to you? And keep that in mind, because so much of what the military does for you then translates to your civilian career. And also the camaraderie, the friendships you have, they're so solid. And it's just a marvelous experience that sticks with you the rest of your life.